Every man and woman carries within them a spark, a silent voice that whispers, "You were meant for more." Yet most people bury that voice under fear, doubt, and the weight of daily struggle. They drift through life without a map, chasing distractions, mistaking movement for progress, and settling for less than their true potential. But there comes a moment, a turning point, when an individual decides to rise, to claim control, and to demand from life exactly what they desire. That moment begins with a decision to unlock the principles that have built empires, created fortunes, and shaped legends. Napoleon Hill did not merely write about success. He revealed the timeless laws that transform ordinary men into extraordinary achievers. His words were not theories. They were the distilled truths gathered from the lives of the world's most powerful leaders, thinkers, and builders. And today, those same truths are waiting for you. If you have ever felt that hunger inside, if you have ever known that your life is capable of greatness, then prepare yourself. What follows are not just lessons, they are keys. And when you hold these keys, no door in life can remain locked. Definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all success, and without it, every step you take is scattered energy. Imagine a man who sets out on a journey without knowing where he is going, what path to take, or what destination he seeks. He wanders endlessly, consumes energy, but never arrives. Life works the same way. People often drift through their years, chasing opportunities as they appear, reacting instead of creating, and as a result, they never gather the force needed to break through to greatness. Napoleon Hill emphasized that the man or woman who knows exactly what they want, who can write it down, see it in their mind, and move toward it every day with conviction, has already achieved half of success. The world respects clarity. Opportunities are drawn to people who radiate certainty about their purpose. When you walk into a room with a strong sense of direction, people feel it, even without words. That sense of inner conviction magnetizes the right partners, resources, and circumstances. Without definiteness of purpose, you are like a ship at sea with broken sails, drifting wherever the tide takes you. With it, you are the captain, charting a clear course, and even if storms hit, you adjust and keep moving toward the chosen port. Success is never an accident. It is a deliberate creation of thought turned into action, fueled by a definite purpose. The man who knows he wants to be a great leader, a creator, a builder of wealth or ideas, has already separated himself from the millions who live aimlessly. Purpose turns energy into power, time into investment, and obstacles into lessons. Every great figure in history first defined their purpose before greatness embraced them. They knew what they wanted, and they refused to settle for less. Burning desire is the fire that transforms purpose from an idea into an unstoppable force. It is not a passing wish, not a casual hope, but a consuming need that refuses to be ignored. When Hill wrote that desire is the starting point of all achievement, he meant that no man achieves greatness without first wanting it with all his being. This kind of desire cannot be taught. It is born from within. You cannot whisper it into existence. You must feel it in your blood, in your heart, in your very bones. Desire is what keeps you awake at night, what drives you to rise before the world stirs, what makes sacrifice feel like a natural part of the journey. People often confuse desire with interest. Many are interested in wealth, success, or recognition, but few truly desire it. Interest fades when difficulties arise, but burning desire grows hotter in the face of resistance. When a door shuts, desire makes you find another. When people doubt you, desire makes you prove them wrong. When failure knocks you down, desire makes you rise again and again until the goal is yours. History is full of examples of men and women who achieved the impossible because their desire was so fierce that nothing could break it. The Wright brothers desired to fly when the world said man could never conquer the sky. Edison desired to bring light to humanity and tested thousands of times before success. That flame of desire outlasted every failure. Desire sharpens the mind, gives strength to the body, and fuels persistence. Without it, even talent and intelligence fade into nothing. With it, even the average man can rise to extraordinary heights. A burning desire transforms purpose into obsession, and obsession is the mark of greatness. To build a life worth remembering, you must not only know what you want, but want it with such intensity that you will never rest until it becomes reality. Desire, more than skill, more than luck, more than opportunity, is the true secret that turns dreams into destiny. Faith is the eternal power that transforms invisible thought into visible reality. Without faith, even the greatest plan crumbles, but with faith, even the most impossible dream takes form. Napoleon Hill declared that faith is the foundation of all miracles, the medium through which the mind connects with infinite intelligence, and the element that turns ordinary men into giants. Faith is not merely a religious word, it is a universal law of belief. It is the unshakable confidence that no matter how difficult the path, no matter how steep the mountain, the result is already yours if you persist. A man with faith sees what others cannot see. He holds his vision with such intensity that the world eventually aligns to his certainty. Most people wait for proof before believing, but the successful man believes first and then creates the proof. Faith is a state of mind, and like all states of mind, it can be cultivated through practice. When you constantly affirm your goal, when you visualize it as though it were already achieved, when you feed your mind only with thoughts of possibility, your faith grows stronger, unshakable, impenetrable. Doubt is the enemy of achievement, and fear is its assassin. Faith kills doubt and silences fear. Faith makes you step boldly when others hesitate. It whispers in your heart that failure is temporary, that every setback is only a setup for your next advance. Faith does not promise an easy journey, but it guarantees that if you do not quit, you will arrive. It creates resilience. It gives you strength on the days when everything looks dark. And it has the power to influence not just your own mind, but the minds of others around you. When people sense your conviction, they begin to believe in your vision as well. Faith spreads. It magnetizes opportunity. It calls resources into your life. It fuels persistence until the goal is complete. Eve. Rye Empire, every invention, every movement that has changed the world began with one man or woman who held a vision with unwavering faith. When you learn to live by faith, not sight, you rise above the ordinary. You begin to understand that your imagination is more powerful than your circumstances. You stop bowing to temporary defeats and instead walk forward with the certainty that your dream is not only possible but inevitable. Autosuggestion is the tool by which faith is built, the method by which the conscious mind trains the subconscious to accept belief as fact. Napoleon Hill called it the control mechanism of the mind, for through it you plant seeds of thought that eventually grow into habits, actions, and destiny. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between truth and falsehood. It accepts whatever it is fed with repetition and emotion. If you constantly tell yourself that you are weak, that you cannot succeed, that life is against you, your subconscious believes it and produces failure accordingly. But if you persistently affirm your greatness, your ability, your inevitable victory, the subconscious accepts this as reality and directs every thought and action toward making it true. Autosuggestion is not wishful thinking. It is deliberate reprogramming. It is the discipline of filling your mind daily with positive commands so powerful that they overwrite the old limiting beliefs that have kept you small. Imagine a farmer planting seeds. If he plants weeds, weeds grow. If he plants corn, corn grows. The subconscious is the soil. Autosuggestion is the seed. What you repeatedly tell yourself is what grows in your life. Great leaders, athletes, and creators all use autosuggestion. They visualize their victories, affirm their strength, and speak their goals as though they are already accomplished. Over time, this constant repetition creates unbreakable confidence. Autosuggestion aligns the conscious and subconscious so they work as one force. When both are in harmony, nothing can stop you. The words you speak to yourself matter. Specialized knowledge is the difference between a man who dreams and a man who achieves. General knowledge may make you interesting, it may allow you to hold a conversation, but it will never make you powerful. The world is filled with people who know a little about many things, but only those who master a particular skill, who dive deep into a chosen field, rise to influence. Napoleon Hill stressed that riches do not come from broad knowledge. They come from knowledge applied with precision in a specific area of service. Specialized knowledge is the tool by which you separate yourself from the crowd. Imagine a doctor, an engineer, a master craftsman. Each has invested years in sharpening a skill that society values, and that skill becomes the foundation of their wealth. In the same way, every entrepreneur, every leader, every innovator who has changed the world built their success not by knowing everything, but by knowing something specific so well that others depend on them. Specialized knowledge does not remain static, it evolves. What you know today may be outdated tomorrow if you stop learning. That is why the truly great never cease to study, to observe, to experiment. They make learning a lifelong pursuit. The secret is not just in acquiring the knowledge, but in organizing it into plans, into methods, into practical application. Knowledge unused is wasted. A man can hold 1,000 facts in his mind and still fail, but another man with fewer facts and a sharper application can build an empire. The beauty is that you do not have to know everything yourself. You can acquire knowledge, you can hire it, you can surround yourself with others who possess it. The mastermind principle itself is an extension of specialized knowledge because by aligning with men and women of different expertise, you multiply your power. Success is not for those who are satisfied with low understanding. It is for those who carve their names into a chosen field. Specialized knowledge makes you indispensable. It allows you to solve problems others cannot, to create value others overlook, and to command opportunities that the average man never sees. The man who understands this principle does not waste time trying to be everything. He decides what he will master, and he masters it until the world recognizes his authority. That mastery becomes the platform upon which fortune is built. Imagination is the workshop of the mind, the birthplace of every dream, invention, and empire that ever existed. Napoleon Hill described imagination as the ability to form mental images of things not yet seen, to bring forth ideas that break the limits of the present. All progress, all human advancement begins first in the realm of imagination. The airplane existed first in the minds of the Wright brothers before it conquered the sky. The light bulb existed in Edison's imagination long before it illuminated the world. Great fortunes were visualized in the quiet thoughts of men before they became towering enterprises. Imagination has two forms, the synthetic and the creative. Synthetic imagination arranges old concepts in new ways, like a businessman who takes known methods and reorganizes them to build a new company. Creative imagination, however, reaches deeper. It is the channel through which ideas flow from infinite intelligence, the mysterious power that feeds the mind with flashes of inspiration. Both are essential. Through imagination, you design your future. Through imagination, you step beyond your current reality and live in the possibility of what can be. Without imagination, you are trapped in the limits of what exists. With it, you break barriers and create what has never been. The greatest achievers have always been dreamers. They dared to see what others caused, but not to believe in visions that seemed foolish to the world. They nurtured those visions until they became undeniable. Imagination is not idle fantasy. It is practical creation. Persistence is the iron quality of success, the force that separates winners from quitters, the spirit that keeps a man moving when every voice around him whispers that it is time to stop. Napoleon Hill called persistence the sustained effort necessary to induce faith into action. Without persistence, desire burns out, plans collapse, and faith weakens. With persistence, even the smallest flame of hope can ignite a fire that consumes obstacles and lights the path to victory. History is filled with men and women who failed not once, not twice, but dozens, even hundreds of times before achieving triumph. Their secret was not genius, not luck, not even extraordinary resources. It was persistence. Edison failed thousands of times before he gave the world the light bulb. Abraham Lincoln endured defeat after defeat in politics before he became one of the greatest presidents. Every successful entrepreneur has a long trail of setbacks behind them, each one serving as a teacher, not a tombstone. Persistence transforms failure into experience, obstacles into lessons, and rejection into resilience. The tragedy of life is that most people give up just inches away from success. They meet resistance, they face criticism, they stumble a few times, and they stop, not realizing that persistence in that very moment would have pushed them past the barrier. Success demands an unwillingness to quit, a refusal to bow to temporary defeat. Persistence requires discipline because the mind will always seek comfort, and comfort is the enemy of growth. Persistence requires courage because the world often ridicules the man who keeps going when everyone else has stopped. Persistence requires faith because without belief in the worthiness of your purpose, you will not endure the storms. But once you commit to persistence, the world bends. Resistance gives way to momentum, and momentum carries you further than talent or intelligence alone ever could. The man who persists cannot be defeated, for failure cannot endure against someone who refuses to quit. The Mastermind Alliance is the supreme secret of power, the principle that no man rises alone, and that the combined intelligence of several minds creates a force greater than any individual could muster. Napoleon Hill discovered through his study of the most successful men of his time that each of them belonged to a group of allies who supported, challenged, and elevated them. The mastermind is not merely teamwork. It is a spiritual and mental synergy where two or more minds, working in harmony, produce ideas, energy, and strength that exceed the sum of their parts. Imagine two batteries linked together. Their combined energy is more powerful than either alone. So it is with minds. The Mastermind Alliance gives courage in moments of doubt, solutions in times of challenge, and perspective in times of blindness. It provides accountability, inspiration, and a constant push toward growth. The truth is, no one succeeds in isolation. Every great leader had advisors. Every empire builder had partners. Every inventor had collaborators. Surround yourself with men and women who share your vision, who add their specialized knowledge to yours, who believe in your purpose, and you multiply your strength. The wrong environment breeds doubt and drains energy. The right alliance fuels faith and multiplies results. The mastermind also protects against the weaknesses of individual perspective. Alone, you may see only one path. With allies, you see many. Alone, you may falter. With allies, you are lifted. This principle is as practical as it is mystical, for Hill insisted that the mastermind generates a third invisible mind, a higher intelligence formed by the harmony of the group. When you tap into that, ideas flow that no single member could have conceived alone.